Hey, how's everybody? I'm doing this special today. I know we had some problems Monday night. I'm not sure exactly what went down. It appeared that either the internet or YouTube froze. I was unable to get everything straightened out on Monday night. Hopefully, now it's working fine and you can see and hear everything. So, you know, anyhow, today is 9/11. Wow, 9/11. I remember 9/11. I worked in a bar 12 hours a day, 10 to 12 hours a day, and I just woke up, and, and I had this habit of watching the watch what this is watching the radio broadcast of Imus in the morning, and I turned it on, and there I'm looking at a video of one of the World Trade Center towers burning. And I'm listening to this and everything, and they said it was a plane hitting, and I automatically thought back to the stories of the B-29 bomber that crashed into the Empire State Building. I said, "Oh, that'll be all right," you know. And then as I'm watching it live, I see the second plane hit. At this point in time, there's no doubt in my mind that this is an attack of some sort. I'm not sure if it's from outside the country or inside the country, because we have a lot of whack jobs in this country. So I was glued to the TV set, and then well, I knew it was the buildings are burning and everything, and I'm expecting everything to be okay, but there'd be a lot of people that have going to die and that, and everything else, and injuries and all that. So, but anyhow, I jump in my car, I drive to work. I get to work, and we're watching the TV together, and I watch the buildings come down, straight down, and I'm saying to myself, that can't happen that way. I mean, it should have come straight down. I could understand if the top half of the building above the fire fell to one side or the other, but I just couldn't understand how they collapsed straight down, killing all those people. It just it befuddled my mind. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today is, and I don't have a lot of information about what I'm going to talk about, so bear with me. Was the one that doesn't get a lot of publicity, didn't even get a lot of publicity that day, and that is the two planes actually, the one that hit the Pentagon, which one where we don't know an awful lot about it. I don't think people, conspiracy theorists says that it was a rocket. I have no idea. I doubt it very seriously, just by the amount of damage was done. And the other one was the plane that crashed in the middle of Pennsylvania with the heroes on it that stopped it. People say that had that one hit the Pentagon too, which is where they believed it was headed, the casualties and the damage that would have been done would have been catastrophic, much more catastrophic. I mean, it was bad. Don't get me wrong, but this was more catastrophic. Now, when you see the president and everybody else coming to New York, that they go to the World Trade Center, I don't see a lot of people going out to the field in Pittsburgh where the plane crashed with the heroes on it. That probably saved a few thousand lives by what they did. I mean, knowing that you're going to die and deciding to make one last action, heroic like that, is just, I don't know. Maybe they thought there was a possibility they could save themselves. I don't know. Either way, they were heroes. Every last one of them. Whether they sat in their seat and just prayed, or they were jumping up and helping try to take down the hijackers. Whatever happened there, those people on that plane are heroes and heroines. Okay? But I don't see the presidents, the ex-presidents, and everybody, thousands of people going out there to honor them. I don't understand why we don't. You know. And the same goes with the Pentagon. There's not a big ceremony down there. I mean, it's all about the Trade Center in New York. And I understand a lot more people died there. I do. But, you know, you don't honor just the people that died. You should honor the heroes. I mean, really honor them. Presidents, whatever, military honor guards, everything should be present. Shouldn't be a small thing, the one in Pennsylvania or the one at the Pentagon. They should be as big as, if not bigger than, New York. I think Pennsylvania should be bigger than all of them because those are heroes. I mean, they died. That doesn't make them any less a hero. It doesn't make the event because they landed in the field and the only people killed were the planes and a few great blades of grass and a couple of moles or something in the ground. No. They should be honored just as much, if not more. I don't know, maybe the parents and the people that are the relatives don't want it. I have no idea. Like I say, I have limited information about that. I didn't do a lot of research on that, and I know they made a movie about it, and that's fine and dandy. They made movies about 9/11 too. We're real good at making movies about tragedy. Go watch Pearl Harbor someday, I just, the people walk around saying never again, and I say never again. It shouldn't happen again. It should have happened in the first place. But we weren't prepared for something like that. We're prepared for, it was the second attack. People forget that was the second attack on the World Trade Center. The first one was a few years earlier with a van full of explosives that exploded underneath the World Trade Center. Maybe that had something to do with the fact that the trade centers came straight down. I don't know. Maybe they weakened something. Who knows? I'm not an engineer. Supposedly they had structural engineers check everything out and everything was okay after that. But I really don't know. It was a. I mean, the whole day was fucked up. It was fucked up for a long time after that. Of course. I saw pictures of little Georgie sitting there talking to the kindergarten kids, and he looked like he needed a new pair of underwear afterwards. I don't care what anybody says, how heroic he was. He wasn't. He went and he knew he had to do something. He didn't know what to do. We really had no intelligence on who was responsible for this, and until Al Qaeda said they were, and Al Qaeda's leader was Bin Laden, and nobody really knew what he was. Said he was in Afghanistan. We spent something like 10 years and millions of dollars trying to find this clown, dropping some serious type explosives in the mountains up there. Making gravel. That's about all we did. And then we found out he was in Pakistan. Now. We don't go to war with Pakistan. We sit back and we stay in Afghanistan and still fighting with people. They may have planned it. It didn't, or it didn't. It doesn't make any difference. We shouldn't have put troops in there. We should have put a select group of men in there to assassinate Bin Laden, and that was the end of it. We went into Iraq, which I still can't figure out. I do know the political ramifications of Iraq are Iran. By removing, I can't remember the guy's name, but by removing the leadership in Iraq, we left. Iran didn't have to spend billions of dollars on border defense because they were constantly fighting until that happened. And then what they did is we kind of ignored Iran, and Iran just went crazy with their money and built up their military, got nuclear weapons and everything else. And Iran is what Iran is today, a threat to democracy, a threat to the world. That should never have been allowed to happen. That was a ridiculous move. If after the Trade Center went down, even if what's his name, Hassan had weapons of mass destruction, He would never have been able to get him to the United States, not at that point in time. He didn't have an Air Force capable of doing it. Um, we had all kinds of security going into place that would have stopped it. Um, he wasn't part of the attack on the Trade Center. Was he a miserable person and all that? Yes, yes, yes. But Georgie, in his brilliance, decided to go in there and kill him and get rid of him. And what they did is they disrupted the whole Middle East. And then we spent something like 20 years in Afghanistan because we had no exit strategy. Bush's father, little Georgie's father, told him he was an idiot for going into Iraq because he had no exit strategy. When they did Desert Storm, they had an exit strategy in place when they left, when they went in, so they could get the hell out. They created chaos. We're real good at that, going around the world creating chaos. Maybe that's why Trump got elected president, because we're so good. We love chaos. We like to see chaos and everything. It just, I don't know. That was just stupid. Getting back to the crashes and everything else like that. I mean, I saw people that would hate each other on an ordinary day, wouldn't even say hello to each other, helping each other during that day and the days that followed. Everybody that came from all over the United States to help try to find survivors, even though they knew they weren't going to. The people that tried to identify what the remains afterwards, and they still haven't identified everybody, as far as I know. They haven't found anything from a lot of people that were there, and there's not even DNA left. That's just the horrible, horrible truth of what happened there, I think the lucky people, this just may sound weird when I say lucky, but the luckiest people were those that were killed when the planes actually crashed. Those that were in the building and were trying to get out and trying to survive and those that were going in to help those people that died, that the first responders that died when the buildings collapsed, those were the unlucky ones. Those were the ones that suffered the most from a psychological point of view. They understood what was going to happen, and there was nothing they could do about it. It's a horrible, horrible way to die. Not my favorite way. It wouldn't be my choice. But I was reading articles today. Our ex-president made tons of money out of that. He even made the comment at that one point in time after it happened that he now had the second, or the tallest or the second tallest building in New York City, which proved to me more than anything that he was just an opportunist scumbag. Didn't care about the people that were in the buildings. He is it's like today, okay? There are 3 ex-presidents, Clinton, Obama, and Bush, at 9/11, at the site of the towers. Carter's 100 years old. He don't get to go. If he is, I'm not sure if he made it or not, but if he did, that's acceptable. But what's Trump doing now? Of course, he's not thought of very well by any of the ex-presidents, including little Georgie. So the fact that he didn't show up doesn't surprise me. But he's promoting a boxing match and challenging Joe Biden to a boxing match. I wrote on Facebook about that. I said, if since we know Joe's going to be a little busy today being a president, being the real president, if he needed somebody to take his place, I was willing to. I'm 75. I got an arthritic hip. I got a bad back. I got an aneurysm. I got a list of things that drive a doctor to keep doctors in business, And I'm saying to myself, well, I can take that fat prick. I make him cry. And I saw presidents, I saw politicians, I saw people I never, sports heroes, soldiers, all these people crying on 9/11. You know, worried about what was going to happen. You know, worried if we were going to go to war now. What were we going to do? Who did this? You know, why did it happen? Um, they had a thing about the World Trade Center. Like I said, it was the second time it had been attacked, and apparently there had been some other incidences prior to 9/11, prior to the first bombing and stuff like that. I guess it represented, I think it was considered at that time, maybe not when they took it down, but at one point in time, they were the two tallest buildings in the world, maybe. I'm not sure. I think so. And they were definitely in the United States. They were the two tallest buildings in the United States. And they took that, these guys apparently took that as some symbol. The fact that it was like sort of considered a financial center, that also took a lot. They expected for, and I'm not sure exactly why, everybody wasn't there at 8:45 in the morning. I guess being that they're executives, they came in, you know, they were financial executives and whatnot. They came in a little later. They were over at the stock exchange. They were doing something else. Or it was time for morning coffee. I don't know. But there were 50,000 people that should have been in those two buildings. And I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to kill 50,000 people. They ended up killing over 3,000 people. Screwing up the lives of millions of more people. People that were on the streets that when that happened have been traumatized and have no idea, you know, people that were supposed to be there, that for whatever the reason, they were running late or something like that, traumatized. It's the, I don't know how you call it, but it's a syndrome you get in battle when the guy next to you dies, gets shot. It's the guilt you feel for going, whew, missed me, you know. And even though your friend just died next to you, it's that kind of PTSD thing that comes at you and whatnot. There's tons of people running around with that. First responders, they got sick, developed lung diseases from being down there trying to help people. They weren't thinking about that when they were down there. They weren't thinking about where's their mask or anything. They were trying to save people. All the people that you saw bucket lines in the videos every night. You saw it on the news, the bucket lines. Trying to save people. You know, that we're good at that. You know, as much as we're real good at killing people, we really try hard to save people in situations like that. It's horrible to think that that's what it takes to bring the country together, to have people standing next to each other with a helping hand, you know, as opposed to picking your pocket, you know. Were there some crimes committed in 9/11? Yeah, of course there were. There are some really despicable people out there. There are people that shouldn't be allowed to breathe air. But, you know, that we can't control that. All we can do is control what we do as individuals, you know. And I think that what's going on now with the way we're treating people, people of color, like the American Indian, the African Americans we have in this country, all of that. They say people of color. I include the Indians, the Native Americans in that, and how horrible we're treating everybody. And that the people want this country to be white. It's never going to be white. It might be brown, but it's never going to be a white power country. Just the genetics aren't there anymore. Unless you want to go out and do a genocide, which I'm sure there's a bunch of people in this country would love to do. But the thing is that, again, it's so hard to look at the 9/11 and then sit back and say, uh, and do what you're doing, and not look around you and watching those people work together and dying together and not caring what, anything about themselves that much, and they're caring about each other and caring about people that they don't know, they may not see, like the people in the plane. They didn't know anybody that was going to die. They didn't have friends and everywhere. Maybe they had a couple people in 9/11 in the Twin Towers. I don't know the whole story about the people that were on that plane. I know they knew they were going to die, and they decided to rather than wait to be part of a slaughter of other Americans and whatnot, they decided to go out and do something about it, and they did. You know, you don't hear a lot about the Pentagon, and I don't know. Pentagon's a secret building, more or less. And what happened there. I know it was repaired in a remarkable speed. Everything was done very quietly. There were just the initial news broadcasts after it hit that, and even that was quieted down because there weren't that many casualties. It's funny how you have to die to become heroic and be on the news and everything. You have to have thousands of people die before anybody wants to remember you or talk to you about it. We remembered Pearl Harbor. There are still people that remember Pearl Harbor. I remember Pearl Harbor. I was not alive when Pearl Harbor happened. Not yet, anyhow. I don't remember. I was born in '46, which is pretty much the end of the war. We just don't, for whatever the reasons are, we don't talk a lot about that. And it's like there's some things don't talk about, and I don't know why. This is a big day. This is a big historical thing and everything like that. We don't talk about the Korean War. There's not a lot of discussion about Vietnam anymore. The small wars we had, people don't talk about. We're still in Iraq. As far as I know, we still have military troops in Iraq, and we're not talking about how we're going to get them out. What's going to happen to that country. It'll be absorbed by Iran probably, and that's why we're still there. Americans die there. I've talked to people that were there. It's still a fucked up country. There's so many. The thing about it is, Afghanistan had all these wonderful religious statues and everything in it, and the Taliban came in and destroyed it. Beirut was considered one of the 7 most beautiful cities in the world. Had a civil war. It got destroyed. One thing human beings are exceptional at, it's killing other human beings. There are 2 creatures on this planet that kill for sport. The shark and humans. Humans are much better at it, as you can see. I mean, we can take something that's designed to transport people, to take people on a pleasurable vacation or whatever, or help them go to a business meeting or whatnot. And we can take that. I don't know how to describe it, but that perfect thing, that wonderful engineering feat, and turn around and use it to kill 3,000 plus people in New York City, and I'm not sure how many died in the Pentagon, and I know there was about 100 some odd, couple hundred people that died in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, and we're real. Like I said, we're good at that. I don't know why the World Trade Center wasn't protected better. I guess we never thought of an air attack. I guess we thought that radar would stop it. Apparently, radar doesn't stop things. Apparently, the movie Red Dawn is actually possible because radar's not that apparently isn't effective enough, or we're not willing to shoot down civilian planes. First of all, when you shoot a civilian plane down, you're going to have casualties on the ground as well as in the air, and the effect it has on the pilots. Again, it's not something you. It's that thank God syndrome. That's the worst thing in the world. It's like I've been walking down the street, and I've watched people get hit by a car right, 100 yards in front of me or something like that. Uh, and I go, wow. I never consciously thought, whew, could have been me. I never thought about it back then. Now, I'm very concerned about it, because I'm old and I don't move as fast as I used to. And I know I'm going to die soon. So, it's not that I want to, people say, oh, don't talk like that. What do you think? I got another 70 years left in me? Come on. I'm lucky I can talk. I'm lucky my memory's still good, and that my mind can function. I mean, that those to me are pluses at my age, There's the only one that lived longer than me and my family was my mom. And she wasn't, the last few years of her life exactly, Mensa, you know, and I don't really want to be there. But I don't want to get hit by a car, and or anything like that. I don't, it's bad enough I walk around and I fall all the time, but uh, that's got nothing to do with what we're supposed to be talking about today. Uh, I am disgusted at Trump and not being and not showing some sort of respect for 9/11. He has absolutely no respect for Americans, and how people can support that. Of course, they don't believe it happened either. People believe that was a government conspiracy. They're the ones that are, they're part of the same group of people that support Trump's beliefs that he didn't lose the election, that it was stolen from him. Trump can't face the fact that people don't like him. But why isn't he at 9/11? Why isn't he? Why doesn't he do something? Why didn't he say something? Why is this? Why is he turning this into some sort of political agenda thing? I mean, they all do it. All politicians do it, but at least they do it in a different way. I mean, you go to a ceremony and you make yourself a public appearance, and you show empathy for those that died, those that are alive, that survived, and whatnot, and the families of the survivors, and you care about this, that, and the other thing. That I understand. As a maybe it's politically motivated, but it's still some sort of I don't know, correct thing. Then you get an ex-president who just completely ignores 9/11. Basically, he says I'm gonna MC a fight in Miami instead. I sincerely hope the man goes to jail. I don't wish ill on the man, because that I don't need anything coming back on me right now. I got enough problems. But I sincerely wish I lived long enough to watch him be marched into jail, crying and screaming, at the baby that he is, the coward that he is. I feel really bad about 9/11, and it's hard for me to try and express everything. People are out there that I don't think I knew anybody. I had a couple of friends that knew some people there. There was a woman who lived near a restaurant where I worked at the time, and her husband was killed there. Very traumatic experience. But then when I watched her life after that, and I just, she wasn't very sad, let's say, All right. I'm going to stop in a few seconds from now. And now that everything's back to working order, and unless, there were some very violent storms last Monday night. That might have had something to do with it. But anyhow, I'm going to see, I'll see you Monday. everybody, have a good weekend. I'll be back Monday, I think. I should be back Monday. All right, so listen, I'm out of here. Take care.